Bad. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I'm just the way I am.
Of all the English lyrics, why that?
Because I gotta save other ones for.
Oh, okay, you're gonna save the good ones for next week.
I mean, that's a good one. It's weird. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I'm just the way I am.
Okay.
There's a lot of weird English lyrics in the song.
All right,
we'll get to that next week.
Sure. You're bad, Itzy. In many ways.
Spoilers. You said I was going to spoil it. You spoiled it. But yeah, this is Nate from Truly Daebak, and this is the Daebakcast, episode 108. And as you can see, there's no Jacob. He got mixed up. He's got a lot going on with going to Korea and stuff, so... But we're just going to record part 1 and 2 right now, and then he should be on for part 3 and 4, which are our reviews. Yeah, and I'm joined, as always, by Andrew, who has 3 things.
Number 1.
What? I was going to say, why are you being all
no, I'm just happy
about it?
No, the image I have right now is Tom Brady holding and his daughter holding the Super Bowl trophy because they won their 6th Super Bowl title in a thrilling 13-3 matchup. I mean, I know most people are thinking it's boring or whatever, but I mean, Jacob was there. He could vouch.
I was programming.
Yeah, I was just there nearly having a heart attack going into the fourth quarter.
Except wasn't the game like really boring actually?
No, I like the defense, but I mean, obviously it was low scoring. That's a thing. Like,
yeah,
most like casual people would be like, won't appreciate low scoring defensive games, but I mean, yeah, I do. But everyone's kind of mad because they kind of honey-dicked everyone with the SpongeBob.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so they have... Like, they start playing it for a second, and then it's just a transition into sicko mode by Travis Scott, and, like, the internet was so mad. Everyone was mad. But coincidentally, though, the same day, or Super Bowl Sunday, the Dallas Stars had a game, and for their halftime show, they actually did, like, a laser projection onto the ice, playing Sweet Victory and everything. So,
oh, really?
Like, yeah, they had the thing pop up from, like, the Bubble Bowl and everything. So at least someone did it correctly. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the parade, I mean, but I got to save my money and days off for Korea. But, I mean, that parade looked lit or whatever, just hundreds of thousands of people, basically. Yeah. Number 2, a little game called Apex Legends came out earlier this week, and I am an addict at this point.
If you play games, you've definitely heard of it.
If you know anything.
Literally everywhere.
Yep, it's the new Fortnite. No, it's never gonna be. Yeah. I don't think it won't overtake it.
I think it definitely is. Has completely pushed PUBG and Blackout. Out of the picture.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone. I think most of the PUBG people are gonna go to this, and some of the Fortnite people, and so like I don't see, and Blackout definitely, it's like free Blackout, so there's gonna be more people playing it. Yeah,
it's free Blackout, especially on PC. Like, there's no reason to go play Blackout anymore, because you and I have been big fans of Titanfall for like the longest time, so I just like Titanfall Battle Royale game. Holy crap! Yeah,
exactly. I put like 200 hours into Titanfall 1.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything I wanted, just like the parkour stuff, like all of this, and like the thing I like. You don't have to talk to people. All you can do is just like ping, and then
the smart ping system is something I think is gonna change, like shooting, like tactical shooters.
Yeah,
like every game now on needs that.
Yeah, basically, it's gonna be a huge disappointment. Like having to communicate over the internet.
Strategy game.
Yeah, especially like if you don't want to hear like 13-year-olds screaming into your mic or whatever.
Exactly.
It's a godsend, and it just makes it if you're not using your pings, you're not playing the game correctly. Like, in all honesty.
Yeah.
So.
Or you're actually talking to the people.
Or you're actually talking to people. So. We should fuck it. We'll stream it next week when you're all here. We'll just dick around in Apex Legends when you're all here.
Yeah, we can like switch up who's playing each round.
And last but not least, Nate, I see you're wearing the shirt. I am wearing the. I literally just got this in yesterday. The Truly Daebak dad hat. just wanted to see how it looked, and it came out amazing. Honestly, I think just this new logo that Jacob did just looks incredible on a dad hat, and we're gonna get all this like hoodies and like your zip up jacket sort of thing soon. Hopefully before we get it before Red Velvet. That's why I was rushing this. But
are they still on the way?
Yeah, they're still on the way. This is the only one that came in, but
okay.
yeah, if you're interested in merch, maybe once we have things more settled down or I figure out how to do this better, that's definitely something we want to go into because these look awesome, and I know a lot of you guys probably want Truly Daebak merchandise as well.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably not going to happen until after Korea, but it would be like summer at the earliest.
Yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little preview of this because I love this hat. I'm going to wear it like all the time now. As always, join our Discord. It's mucho lit. It's really lit lately because there's it's on fire because we're fighting over Itzy. But that's next week. Also,
more
just
songwriting stuff happening.
Also, for the people that are if you're listening to this, hopefully by now, on the audio versions are all fixed because I only realized that when we switched over, nothing has been updated since the end of 2018. So like our audio listeners just have no idea what is going on.
Is it still messed up? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm typing. I know people don't like when I type.
Yeah, basically once we swapped over to iTunes we swapped over the RSS feeds, nothing was updating
But I
anymore.
switched it back like 3 days ago. So the fact that it's still not updated, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's weird. But I mean, we should have Podbean or like we're switching to our new server hosting. Hopefully by the time this goes up. So sorry again, it's just been a huge mess with audio, but hopefully this is just for like longevity's sake because I don't know how long we'll be able to last on SoundCloud. So if you and it'll streamline the process for us being able to get on Spotify, which I know is a really big thing for people. So
yeah, we'll be able to get on Spotify and Google Store. So Google Play.
And those are the three things with some minor notes.
Yep. Okay, let's go to topic one. Topic one, we're just going to discuss the CocoSori situation that's been happening over the past like month or so. There was a big update this past week, or was it last week?
February 1st.
It was the past week or two.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
So like 9 days ago.
I just have like the huge like manifesto that they wrote on Facebook.
I've got a couple things open, but just to give a little bit of background. So CocoSori is a duo under M.O.L.E Entertainment, or M.O.L.E Entertainment. They're a pretty unknown small company. The group never really blew up. I mean, they've had some hits here and there.
They have like slight popularity just because Coco she speaks English, so she has like a fan base that way. Sori was in the Idolmaster Korean version. Both of them, I believe, tried out. One of them was Mix 9, the other one was Unit.
I know, Coco was in Mix 9, and Sori was in the Unit.
Yeah.
People know them, but they've never like done insanely well in terms of sales or anything. They're just a girl duo that just does standard pop. It's not like Bubblegum that does like indie stuff or anything. They're a pop group. I'd say like sometime last year they just started doing solo stuff. We actually liked their last comeback as a group.
Yeah, it was like Mi Amor or something like that.
Yeah, Mi Amor, that's right.
And then they had like some weird kiss scene or whatever. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
It was like some tropical song, but I think we enjoyed it.
But it was because like they were dreaming or whatever, and they almost kissed each other. That was a thing.
Gotta get them sales. Gotta get them sales though.
But we liked the song. But after that, they just did like solo stuff. And it was kind of weird, like what was going on. And now it's pretty clear there's strife either between Coco and the company, or Coco and Sori, or both.
Or both at this point.
Or pretty much both. And we'll never know exactly what happened. I feel like because it's all here. It's he said, she said at this point. And I don't know if anyone will ever come out, and maybe someone leaves the company and like does a tell all, but. At this point, we only have biased messages from both sides. But basically, Coco has been doing a lot of side stuff as a streamer. And she's gotten pretty popular on Twitch and
YouTube,
YouTube and Korean streaming services. And at some point, let me see, I have 5 months ago, she just like kind of went off on her stream, talking about how like the company was screwing her over and telling her they didn't have any money for her to do a solo, and then and like just basically she said they were lying to her and focusing completely on Sori. She had to like crowdsource her comeback, where Sori got a comeback like just completely funded by the company. So like all the stuff she was saying seemed like pretty valid. And she like, yeah, she didn't like talking about being an idol when she was streaming and stuff. And she their contract's up soon. It seemed like she was pretty like done being an idol and was gonna leave the industry anyway.
I got
and
the,
she was just kind of like.
I have the MV playing right now, by the way. So just
okay.
Just like
yeah,
the stark difference between Coco's like the money that they put into Coco's sort of comeback or like solo debut versus Sori, who had like everything produced by the company, whereas Coco, I believe, had to like crowdfund it, like Kickstarter.
She crowdfunded
something like that.
Yeah, she did. I think it was Makestar. So yeah, this all happened like 5 months ago. And yeah, like we said, Sori got a comeback, and it was like it's not a high budget MV, but it was a produced music video. She had a produced comeback. And she also does a lot of YouTube stuff. She's known for like fashion and stuff. She's
friends with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like Ellen and Brian. I believe she like does stuff with like American, like people over here. Like besides.
Oh no, I mean Sori.
Oh, sorry.
Sori also does YouTube stuff, but she does like fashion stuff and
most of it's just her in bikini.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go look it up.
It's a little weird. But... It's a little like obvious that it's like, hey, here's a girl in revealing clothing, come check out my YouTube channel. Also, I think they did either they did, I don't take this for granted, I could be completely wrong, but I remember reading somewhere that like there was maybe a Kickstarter for a Sori comeback, and one of the rewards you got like one of her swimsuits or something gross.
What?
I don't think I'm making that up. I remember reading. I don't know if it was something she wore.
I'm playing the trailer right now, and oh god, it's
or
just
if
her
it's
like
something.
Doing, like her channel
I
trailer.
could be wrong. I don't want to like slander, but I do remember something like that being a thing.
Oh god, her YouTube trailer is just her doing like yoga and stuff. I'm just like, oh, it's like exactly that. It's like that, huh?
Yes. Yeah, basically. But okay, so that's what both of the members have been doing. Now the company, on February 1st, we said, put out this insanely long post on Facebook. It's like it's probably like 5,000 words. Yeah. And I'm not gonna even attempt to read it. But basically what they're saying is that Coco has been completely lying about everything and slandering them and Sori on her social media and on her streams. And they are basically they sent like legal documents saying like you broke contract and we want a public apology. And Coco sent a legal statement back saying they wouldn't apologize. So it seems like there's going to be some sort of legal battle. But at this point, it's like a public feud.
Yeah, and remember how, again, for those that aren't necessarily familiar with how serious they take, like, what libel or just, like, defamation sort of things in Korea. Like, again, the companies pursue, like, comments and that sort of stuff. So with a company like this, you know that they're not fucking around when it comes to this sort of thing. They're considering it, like, some type of breach of contract to some degree, where basically like, oh, you're just like you're slandering the company, or she's speaking about things that aren't supposed to necessarily be made public. And again, it's the company's in a rough situation because again, Coco's the one out there with the platform, whereas the company, they
has to. You gotta like make sure lawyers go over everything you say, like because you gotta make sure you're not like putting yourself in a legal like bad spot where Coco's just a person and she's just like emotionally telling what her side of the story.
And I mean, at
on
this
her
point,
stream.
Coco has it seems like she's completely checked out of being an idol. Like she's just done with like everything. And I mean, maybe this feeds into that sort of, but yeah, like in this sort of case, I don't necessarily blame her for sort of lashing out in this sort of way, because I mean that's a common thing nowadays, is where if you literally have no avenue to sort of get your story out there, you just fuck it, like put it out on social media or whatever, and hope that like people like take notice. So at face value, it looks like one of those sort of things. But I mean, again, this post sort of makes you think otherwise, or just it makes the story much more complicated in this sort of way.
And yeah, like, and they're saying it put them in a really bad spot because she was deciding to focus on her YouTube channel instead of going to like schedules, which means the company is now in trouble with like the broadcasting companies, like, because they're she's not showing up to her schedules. Yeah,
it's a contract thing, not necessarily just
exactly.
Them not giving her anything sort of deal.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems like Coco is saying they didn't have any money for her and they were treating her poorly and focusing on Sori, so she's basically just stopped doing anything she's supposed to do. And the company is saying, well, that's a lie. We got you these schedules. You're not going to them because the YouTube money is more important to you than like your contract and stuff. So like, and I mean, those are basically two sides. And I mean, that we know right now.
That's probably right in that sort of way, because if you consider just how much money you make on like Twitch, just being, again, like the whole section of Twitch just is IRL streaming, that like basically if some dude wants to talk to like a pretty K-pop star girl sort of thing, then he'll give you like $100 donations or whatever. I mean, why would you become like even bother becoming an idol and like dealing with all this nonsense or whatever if you could just do that and just stay at home sort of thing? So, I mean, she's not wrong in wanting to prioritize that, but I mean, it's a contract that you signed, and
yeah, exactly. Like if you don't follow that contract, you're gonna be sued. So it's probably a bad idea. Like, why if that's truly what's happening, if she like truly thinks they broke the contract, then
you can counter sue, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, she can do all of this, but it's probably a bad idea. To me, it seems like she's acting entirely out of emotion.
Yeah.
And like short-term financial gain, because the group isn't doing well and the company's probably not doing that great. So she's like, okay, I can make all this money on Twitch and YouTube. And in the long term, it's probably a bad idea because she's under contract, and if she is breaking all this contract, like, she's gonna have to pay somehow.
And I think it's not necessarily just her prioritizing YouTube and Twitch and all that other stuff over her contracts. It's that so at some point in this like diatribe, they're talking about how Coco, according to them, again, this is M.O.L.E Entertainment's side of the story, where they are positing, or they're putting forward the fact that Coco went to the company and said, I'm done with being an idol, and then they respected her wishes, even though that, like, okay, they want to make, obviously it's talent, you want to make money, like, no company is going to,
you put
resources into it. So
them.
Like, for as incompetent as like YG can be or whatever, I don't think even YG's stupid enough to not understand the fact that you have to, if you don't use you're not making any money by not using your employees. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in that sort of way. So yeah, they were like, okay, we'll respect it, that sort of thing. And then she came forward with them with the song Sugar Cake, and then they're like, okay, we'll produce according to them, they produced the song for that, or they helped fund the production of the song. It wasn't necessarily just, because most Kickstarter campaigns or just any sort of thing like that, the money, even if it says, 150% like accomplished or whatever, that doesn't even begin to cover all of the expenses. So it's
just like a boost in helping fund it. It's not covering it entirely at all.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently that's what. Okay, so I'll read it word for word here. Quote, Coco also argued about Sugar Cake's Kickstarter rewards, stating that the company's poor management of dealing with her CDs derived problems while she fulfilled all responsibilities. The CDs were sent to everyone a long time ago, and only 2 of them came back unclaimed because of incorrect addresses. In fact, the actual complication with Kickstarter rewards was due to Coco continuously postponing to provide fan services, such as shooting video messages, so much so that it took longer than 3 months to accomplish it. So apparently, yeah, they're sort of coming back at those accusations that she was like, oh, they're trying to stifle the Kickstarter sort of thing.
Well, right after that, it even says like one of the fan services of Skype video calls still hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's a mess. That's a huge mess.
So, yeah, it's a giant mess. I don't think either side is truly like.
No one is guilt-free in these things ever. No one not at all. Ever is, yeah.
I'm sure the company was like, okay, Sori is a lot more popular because of her looks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's clear in her last music video that they're like, here, put you in a bikini the whole time and a bunch of shots of your butt and like, yeah, so like
explosion of like popularity.
Well, yeah, it's just like it's clear that Sori was more popular, and they're using her popularity because of her looks to keep that popularity going and make money. So it makes sense that they would have focused more on her than Coco, as Coco is the less popular of the 2 members. Especially a company that's in like a small company that needs money like that. They can't waste money on things that aren't going to make them money back. But then also Coco seems clear that she kind of just fucked the company over by breaking her contract. And
yeah.
They both screwed each other over basically.
Yeah, because because legal debacles and on both sides, that's expensive. Like the only people that win in this case are the lawyers, because they're just gonna get like fat stacks of cash. The longer this sort of lawsuit case goes, oh man, they're just gonna rake it in. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and it's a tough situation for both sides too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just my sort of thoughts on it. I mean, at first, because again, we did not hear anything from M.O.L.E Entertainment at all. We only heard from Coco.
For 5 months, yeah.
Yeah,
all we heard was from Coco almost half a year ago, like, saying this.
Yeah, and then obviously, like, only knowing one side and knowing the sort of history and industry that we are sort of dealing with here, where this is it's commonplace for idols to sort of be mistreated. Yeah, and mistreated or neglected by incompetent companies. I mean, it checked out immediately, so everyone was like, oh, that sucks. She was garnering sympathy for her in that sort of way, and I guess just sort of her being the level of accessibility that you get with Coco in comparison to the level of accessibility you get with M.O.L.E Entertainment just leads her side of the story to be more credible. But with this information out, again, it's not so cut and dry anymore. I think it's to my ears, like, again, obviously this is all speculation, but I mean, I don't think it's anything controversial to say that maybe these feelings of jealousy or sort of resentment towards either Sori or towards the company are deep-seated, like long before like any of this even came up.
No,
like,
yeah, definitely.
And maybe it's something that maybe is a reflection of Coco's personality, like off camera or not being an idol, where she sort of doesn't feel confident or feels like she's not getting a fair shake in that sort of way. And I mean, okay, I can understand that. I could definitely relate to sort of feeling like you're playing second fiddle, but I'd say there's a lot more graceful ways to go about it, and maybe
100%.
Because you're burning every bridge that you could possibly, like, no one's gonna want to touch her with a 10-foot pole at this point if you're willing to do this. And I mean, maybe that was her objective all the way, the entire time, just to burn all the bridges and just start over.
I think she knew what she was doing. I think she knew, like, okay, it doesn't matter how the Korean entertainment industry views me, because I'm just going to be an internet personality now. But yeah, like you said, there's definitely better ways to do it. And I think it seems like a lot of people have been saying, like, she's been spouting, like we said, we found out, like, her side of the story 5 months ago, and it seems like she regularly brings it up and every time she does, she gets like she gets that sympathy money on Twitch and stuff. So like
maybe it's a calculated
maybe she's like
sort of thing.
exploiting it to like, it's one thing to feel that way and to express it like because it should be out there, that like, hey, I'm getting mistreated, the company is not like treating me as well as they should, I think. But continuously doing it, and I don't know if she is. I don't watch her streams or anything.
I don't watch her streams.
Based on like the Reddit comments I've read and stuff of people who seem much more informed about this situation, it seems like she brings it up like pretty regularly, and every time she does, she gets money. So it seems like she might be exploiting this side as well. And I don't want to say like she's at fault, and I don't want to say the company's at fault, because they're both at fault.
They're both at fault. Like there's clearly on the side of M.O.L.E Entertainment, there's clearly been some type of miscommunication, because again, if both Coco and M.O.L.E Entertainment sort of like hash this out in private, like, okay, you're not happy, like we want you to be happy because you're an employee and you make money for us, that sort of thing. If they were able to hash that out, then okay. So someone on management clearly wasn't able to sort of take the hints or read the signs or whatever, or deal with it behind the scenes. Then obviously Coco just didn't know when to stop necessarily. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it just kept going.
Because like the obvious way to deal with this is to be internal, and then they just end the contract amicably and she leaves. Like, why? So clearly the company didn't want to do that for some reason, and she just kind of went crazy about using her platform to get the bad word out there and like kind of like blame her company when it's partially her fault as well.
Yeah, and I mean this is definitely a lesson to be. There's definitely a lesson to be learned here, that obviously everything like in the internet age, when literally just speed takes priority over like accuracy or reliability of information. So that's why I know it's always a controversial thing to say, but when people say like wait for all the facts to come out, that's usually a good idea, because again, everyone wants to, again, in the this day and age of social media where everyone wants to be first, like to sort of like let their opinions known and to sort of like proclamate their righteousness to everyone. And I mean, obviously they want to white knight Coco or something, but that's why it's always a good idea to just wait and see when all of the facts come out. And obviously in this sort of case, nothing is gonna ever be concrete, but again, it's usually a good idea, or it's a really good example of just how the way people present themselves online, especially when it comes to K-pop, or like the way they present themselves as idols, is not always what they really are. Like,
no, I'd say 99% of the time.
Yeah.
It's not what they are.
Everyone like it's to the point where they manufacture personalities for people. Like that's a thing where they train you into, okay, you're the funny one. Okay, you're the one that's always super serious. You're the one that has a sob story. Like that's part of the industry. So, like, as much access as we have to celebrities nowadays through Twitter and Instagram and all this sort of stuff and YouTube, like even us, like. There's to some degree, everyone, when they put themselves out there on the internet, everyone has some type of front. Everyone's not spilling everything out onto the internet or out onto the ether in that sort of way. So just be careful with who you idolize or who you follow in that sort of way. I guess that's just the moral message to sort of take away from this. Yep.
Well, I think we covered that and discussed it to its full extent. So let's move on to topic 2, which Andrew will be leading.
Okie dokes. Less of a controversial topic, but more of a happy one, if anything, or just an interesting one, which is why I wanted to cover it. So this topic is covering Psy's new label entitled P Nation. So Psy, last year, he left his position at YG Entertainment to start his own music label, which I think was it was a long time coming. I mean, this guy's been around for, before I even followed K-pop, like the early 2000s or whatever. So it's only a matter of time before he decided to start his own sort of record label. And I mean, Psy is one of the people who has enough gravitas in Korea and respect to be able to garner or attract enough talents for it. So it's definitely an interesting discussion topic. So that being said, we'll just go into who we signed already, who we think should sign, all the other details. So as of now, the only people that have signed are Jessie, formerly under YMC. I was watching because Dumbfound Dead has a podcast as well, and Jessie was literally like the week after. She was on the podcast like right after she signed the contract or whatever, and so she was talking about like she was just keeping it quiet that she had not renewed her contract with YMC. Like she was she was like a free agent for a couple of months, and then Psy sort of came up to her. It's like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I want to start a label, and then and what she was talking about is sort of she was attracted to Psy had always wanted to work with Jessie, and what she really likes about his company so far is like the freedom that she sort of gets, because basically she's just been chilling in the US for a couple of months, basically just like coming back here and possibly like wanting to promote here. Obviously, I mean she's American, so that's definitely her thing.
Come home.
And that that's definitely Jessie was a good signing, just because I feel like Psy obviously has the again, he was interested in working with her, and two, he definitely seems like he'd give enough leeway or just creative freedom.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think that's the biggest thing that might attract people. In all honesty,
definitely.
Yeah, is the creative freedom that they could. He'll be more than willing to offer them in that sort of way. So.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a really smart decision to go to this company, because Psy's clearly someone who's very laid back and like willing to let people do crazy things, because that's literally what he's made his
that's his
career
MO.
on. So yeah, I think especially it makes sense, especially for someone like Jessie or like American artists who probably feel a little restricted by the Korean entertainment industry in terms of like what they can and can't do and how they should and shouldn't act. I'm sure Psy would care a lot less about it than a much more traditional company. Obviously they're not gonna like let you say anything and do anything, because they're still like it's still a company. He needs to make money. He needs to keep a reputation that he's like a legitimate company. But it's I could easily see the appeal of wanting to go to a size company. You're gonna have more freedom. You have the name recognition of Psy, one of the biggest people in the industry.
Yeah, it's someone that has name recognition inside of Korea and outside of Korea, which is a huge thing. Because again, all the people like Billboard and like I don't know, just like entertainment. I don't know, like basically all of the American outlets. It's not just P Nation to them. It's Psy is starting a music company. Like that's
exactly.
Just like getting your foot in the door like that. Just with Psy's name, again, it's just it's a recipe for success, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, this honestly has the potential to be like a big 3 level company, because all 3 of those companies were started by people who had very big names in the music industry.
Yeah, Isuman.
That's how they became those companies like that big.
Yeah, Isuman started SM, and then JYP obviously started JYP.
Yeah, it was.
YG started YG, that sort of thing. So is how it's how all these companies started off. Like just they were just
the biggest ones.
Yeah, like there was at one point it was just where the big 3 were just like this, when they're just garnering or they're gathering talent and trainees just off of name recognition of the
exactly.
owners alone.
YG started a company and got big bang and blew up from there. Like Psy can start getting trainees now that would be like, I want to go under Psy's company. Like that would be a cool company to be under.
Yeah,
and
that's actually
who knows. 5-10 years from now, they could be the big 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually a good lead into like the next sort of tidbit that I had, where according to like rumors from like Naver and sort of the Twitterverse, they're scouting idol trainees. Like it's not just going to be soloists or whatever. It seems like we're going to get idol groups from Psy, which just blows my mind. Like what in the world would an idol group produced by Psy sound like, or just run by Psy? It makes me excited.
I mean, I could definitely see a girl group being like Momo Land style, like crazy meme dance type, like recent Momoland style stuff.
Yeah, so like boom,
and then you even get like you just get the name recognition, like start off like you're not just some random like girl group from some random company no one's ever heard of. Like you're gonna be the girl group from Psy's company, like the first girl group from Psy's company or the first boy group from Psy's company. Like you're just gonna get fans and news and like you're just gonna get recognition from that alone. It just gives you a leg up in the market like instantly without even having to try as hard as the smaller companies.
Yep. And again, obviously another big signing that he had was he signed the hottest couple in all of K-pop.
It's gonna be the
until
most
Jenny
ridiculous day. I know it's gonna be the most ridiculous day when they break up.
Oh my god! Knock
they
on wood.
both signed to the same company.
Yeah, I mean, they like I said, we're obviously talking. You can see it on the screen, but Hyuna and Edon both signed with P Nation. Yeah, at first the rumors were, or the talk was that they were looking for separate companies, and I mean that was probably a good idea just in case like they wanted to do separate things. But I mean, I guess Psy would probably. It's okay for them to sign here, I guess, just because I think less about their concern was less about what if we break up from the future, and was more about what if the company we join or the fans of like the company we join or whatever don't like the fact that we're working together, that sort of thing. So I mean, obviously with Psy probably doesn't give a shit. So he probably sought them out because they're like together or that they were free agents in this sort of way. So
it makes sense to like just kind of seek them out because they're both like established producing talent. So even if they don't do solo stuff, they can both produce for these groups that he's eventually going to make. So like, maybe they both decide they're done like doing solo music, or like, we don't know what their plans are. They could still want to produce, and it might be perfect. So he was like, you guys are both fantastic producers. I need producers. I'm a new company. Like, I need to be able to make music.
It's an incredible
come here together.
Yeah, it's an incredible baseline. Another sort of crazy or wrinkle that could be added to this is some people were postulating, what if Edon just straight up joins the new boy group? Because again, he joined.
Oh god, that would be ridiculous.
That'd be insane.
Compete against Pentagon.
Yeah, like imagine like he's just like the face of this new P Nation boy group. Again, I don't know if he'd want to do it or like, but I'd be in favor of it, honestly. Like that'd be awesome to see him in a. Because again,
has he been to the army yet?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't think
so.
So maybe he.
I don't know. I don't see that happening just because I don't see a boy group happening. I don't see any group happening for like at least a year, if not more. And, like, I feel like you can't start out with a boy group that, like, with a member that's probably going to have to go to the, like...
Army,
Go to the army right away, even if it is an established person like Edon. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, it'd be a risky prospect, But
I mean, it's possible for sure, but...
And he'd be following in Hyuna's footsteps, because for those that don't remember,
leaving Wonder Girls.
Yeah, Hyuna had to leave Wonder Girls because she had like surgery and all that sort of stuff, and then ended up joining 4 minutes.
Really young.
Yeah, so it'd be really funny if he just ended up following in her footsteps in that sort of way. But I am very excited about the prospects of him being a like creative force and hopefully maybe influence the new boy group or girl group or whatever he decides to do, because again he was the mastermind of Edon and We, who are the sort of creative masterminds behind a lot of Pentagon's music. So just again for him to get free reign in that sort of way, it's going to be very interesting to see, and I can't wait. Just another interesting tidbit, they're calling him Hyojong on his like, 'cause that's his actual name. So
he's not using Edon anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Like maybe Cube has like the rights to the stage name Edon or something like that. But
or he just wants to detach himself from Pentagon and Cube as much as possible.
Yeah, he
probably
wants,
most likely.
Yeah, it'd make more sense for him to use his real name, I guess. Just
because I think I feel like a lot of people keep their stage names when they leave companies, so I don't think there's a way the company can like maintain control of that. It's probably he just wants to detach himself from Cube and Pentagon. But yeah, I think it's much more likely he does solo stuff and produces.
Or they could just kidnap Wii and just remake Triple H. Or no, maybe they'll make a new like Troublemaker type thing, except it's
I was just trying to think. I was like, what's a like pun of Troublemaker that we could make? Like,
I mean, they're in enough trouble as it is already. Name. I mean,
yeah.
So I guess now we can sort of get into who would you want to for them to sign, or who would you want them to scout to potentially for their upcoming groups that may not necessarily have a home or would probably do better under Psy's P Nation. So I'll let you start it off.
I honestly have a tough time thinking about who would go there. I think I'm more excited just in general for the groups he's gonna put out, like something new, something different. I'm expecting at least like I don't think it's gonna be crazy different, but I think it's gonna be Psy's style. It's gonna be a little more like loose and out there. It's not gonna be as tight as and like I don't know, just as like clean as most K-pop groups.
Yeah.
For individual people, I mean, it's weird to say. Like, I don't know if it makes perfect sense because she's doing insanely well, but like Sunmi is someone I could see like working well under Psy because she's got that same kind of style. Like she likes doing her own thing, and especially now she's on Twitter. She's basically like crazy person on Twitter. So
yeah, she's insane. Sunmi understands Twitter on a level
she was just tweeting.
She's just tweeting random shit. Like, here, I'll pull it up right
like
now.
Random lyrics like a couple days ago, and in the middle of them, she just had to tweet, "No, I'm not drunk," because people are like, "Are you drunk? Like, what are you doing?" She's like, "It's just lyrics," like, but she's just tweeting these random phrases out. But yeah, like, I don't think it makes sense, and I don't think it'll happen because how well she's doing. But I could 100% see her like fitting that style and like wanting to be under Psy.
Someone that I think is an obvious choice in all honesty, and if they don't go there, I'm gonna be super disappointed. CL, like if CL doesn't get
CL definitely.
If she doesn't get the hell out of Dodge, if she doesn't get out of like YG, I don't know what she's doing at this point. Like, like I feel like again, she's worked with Psy before. She's hugely discontent with where she is right now in YG, and he doesn't. At this point in time, YG has no interest in promoting her at all. So, like, it's a match made in heaven basically for her, like her and potentially I don't know if Dar is interested in making music anymore, but maybe for them to go to P Nation, and then again, it's the freedom that CL has always wanted and could never get in YG, like because she's always pushed the edge and. Even YG, I guess, couldn't take it to some degree or just didn't care for the way she was doing things. But I think she'd flourish under it. And no, the thought of two artists like CL and Hyuna collaborating, I think it'd destroy the universe.
And Jesse.
Oh my god.
You just have a trio of like badass female rappers in Korean entertainment.
Yeah, that
could just put out like a crazy song together.
Yeah, that's
and
probably
it'd be
really
perfect
cool
under Psy's company.
Yeah, like Psy is the only place where something the only breeding ground where something like this could like really flourish and really excel in this sort of way. I guess other potential ones I'd think of is specifically for the boy group, but and this is just me pulling it out of my ass, but Kwon Hyunbin, he's currently obviously, he was in Produce 101, former member of JBJ, currently under YGK+. So,
the one, okay.
Yeah, the really tall dude. YGK+ is not properly equipped to deal with or promote idols, so I don't know if he should stay there necessarily, because again, he went in as an actor.
Does he still want to be an idol?
Oh, I mean,
has he stated he wanted to keep doing it?
From what I've seen
or
with what
seems like it.
Yeah, because remember, like he's loved JBJ. It seemed like he really loved JBJ.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if YGK can sort of give him the proper platform. I mean, maybe he gets transferred over to YG, but he's just gonna suffer in the dungeon because I doubt they're launching any new boy groups anytime soon. Because they already have like the treasure box stuff going on.
Oh
so
that.
It's a logjam at this point. So he'd be a cool
Yep.
addition to a potential boy group. Maybe we were talking about Produce X101 on the last Produce cast. That's an option. Maybe anyone that doesn't necessarily make the top like 11 or whatever it is.
Definitely. That's
Psy would be a good place, a good home for them.
Yep. And yeah, even like we mentioned it in the Produce cast, like a couple of the 101 members that were kind of like in limbo, or like weren't really sure if they were going to stay at their company or something. Like those might be good people to pick up too.
Yeah.
They have that recognition.
And another just complete ass pull, Tiara. Just imagine.
That would be pretty good actually.
Because remember, they're all pissed off. They all like had a really like bad falling out, and they all left together.
Yeah, if he started a company a year or two ago when they were still at MBK, I think that would be one. But the fact that they've all gone to different companies and have signed contracts, like I don't know if that would happen anytime soon. But that would be funny because they do have the ability to use the name Tiara outside of MBK. So, like, yeah, that would be great. It's not gonna happen, but.
Yeah, that's just a complete ass pull on my part. But I mean, if I ever get that right, that'd be just insane. Just because again, it's a group that would just flourish under there. Just like they'd get complete free reign and not have to worry about MBK and their nonsense.
The one other person I could think of, and it's never gonna happen, is Somi. She would be perfect there, but. Like if she left JYP to go to YG and then left YG to go to Psy's company without debuting, I feel like it's so ridiculous.
No, you know what? It'd be insane if. Obviously, I don't think there's any problems between Teddy and like YG. But imagine if just YG or Teddy is just like, I'm gonna annex all of the Black Label and then I'll work with Psy or something like that or whatever. Well, no, I guess we could throw around Epic High because I mean they're label-less right now because High Ground sort of fizzled out. They left YG.
Yeah. High Ground kind of like you said, just kind of dissolved because they decided they didn't want to stay at YG, so they left and they were running it pretty much. I mean, Tablo wasn't CEO anymore, but like all the artists after that kind of just started leaving. I know because Yucko left, right?
Yucko's like
wasn't under.
Hyuko was under High Ground, but I have no idea where they're at now.
Okay.
Code Kunst went to AOMG or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Off and off are just like all over the place now. I don't know what's happening with them.
Yeah, once Epic High left, it kind of just like, it seems like all the people are just leaving, but we're not really sure because these are all like more underground artists that aren't really like, you're not hearing news stories about, so it's kind of hard to follow where they're at. But yeah, I highly doubt it because to me they like Epic High wants their own company. I think like,
they'll probably just map the Soul Entertainment. So
I mean they made High Ground, but it
was theirs.
They needed the money, so they went to YG and like became a subsidiary. So they had their company, but I think at this point like they're old enough and like financially stable enough that they're like, we just want complete independence. So yeah, I wouldn't be. We're supposed to get a tour and an album from them this year. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna find out what company is handling all that. But I think it's probably 99% certain that it's themselves. Yeah. But it would be interesting, like if they went somewhere. I think it would be Psy's company. Yeah, because I just don't think they want to go somewhere.
Tablo and Psy have worked together before on Psy's last album. Another one, it's not gonna happen because he already made his own company. But because once the first rumors started spreading that Zico was going to leave Block B and Seven Seas
that would be a good one.
Yeah, Zico would have been a perfect choice for this, but he's actually forming his own entertainment company. He's basically gonna make like an AOMG style, like hip hop focused sort of thing. It seems, and that's gotta be an awesome one too. It's basically just it's just Zico doing AOMG, where he'll just produce and help promote new hip hop artists. So.
All these artists,
So I guess that'll do it for the topic. If you have any sort of interesting thoughts or comments, or who you would want to see join P Nation, please, as always, leave them in the comments below.
Yep. And topic 3, Jacob magically has appeared.
I have teleportation
That's gonna
powers.
get Jacob. That face is gonna get turned into an emoji, like hella quick.
It probably
Yeah.
will.
No, egg
roll immediately.
our
He's
eyes.
waiting.
He's like, all right,
He's like
screenshot.
literally like going frame by frame through the entire video, just looking for that's an emoji. So
It'll be like
pretty
the
much.
yes.
Yeah. So topic 3 is our ONF We Must Love review. So we must love this album.
Or else.
No one can give it a score lower than an 8. The title track is the same name, We Must Love. I thought it was, so this song's less upbeat than their previous stuff. And I'm still not sure if I like it more. I like it a lot, but I think I still like their older stuff more. I really like the subtle electric guitar that's mixed in with all sorts of synths going on for the instrumentals. And the vocal part during the chorus, the synths follow the melody exactly. I like when songs do that. And also, one weird thing, the song seems short even for like a K-pop song.
Yeah, it's
it felt like
3:11, so
It's
it is on the
3,
shorter
yeah.
side.
it's sub 4 minutes is usually like not really that heard of in K-pop. Like usually like 4 minutes.
It's usually like like late 3. But yeah, it definitely felt like it could use another verse or something. Music video was mostly choreography. I had no idea what the non-choreography stuff was, what was happening. It was weird and confusing, but I didn't really follow it. I thought the choreo was good. It wasn't too crazy though, and I thought the styling was really good.
As for my thoughts on it, well, one, just so you can get like this should be a big hint as to what my thoughts are on like a majority of this album. Like the entire album is produced by Monotree or members of Monotree.
yeah.
So I don't think I've ever seen them produce an entire album like this, in all honesty, because usually they'll just do the single or like a B-side track or whatever. So this is pretty new, at least in my experience. So that's pretty cool that they.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I can think of any time they've done that either.
Because usually, whenever one producer takes in charge of an entire album, it's something internal. Whereas Monotree's like they bounce around between different companies like that. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. I mean, it's something I'm not opposed to them doing in the future. In all honesty, that being said, as for how I would rank this or where I would put this against, like on off or complete. It's like nitpicking at this point because I love all the songs, but I think in all honesty, I love the drop of this song way better than Completes, and that's saying something because I love that song's drop. So I'm just a sucker for anything that uses these like chopped vocal sample type or chopped beats, it does. It has this really nice addition in the second verse where it adds like a bit of like Latin piano vibe to it, which kind of like helps differentiate it from the first verse in that sort of way. It's probably one of the like the best songs of the year, in all honesty. Like it's that good, at least in my eyes. And I'm just really happy, or I'm really proud of ONF to see like the amount of growth that they made in the past 2 years. Just again, like from on off or complete to this. Like again, that's what I'm always looking for in groups. Just like again, that progression in terms of concept, in terms of vocals, in terms of like everything or whatever. So again, I see that line of progression there, and I see that them not being afraid to experiment in terms of genre or style of group. Because I mean, again, We Must Love is like nothing like what they were doing like in 2017. So again, I'm happy that they're willing to sort of go and experiment in this sort of way. As for the visual aspects of it, again, most of it really doesn't make sense. But what is really cool is like there's some parts of this music video that are filmed at some like that like weird like dragon shaped thing or whatever. Yeah. They filmed that at an abandoned water park, I believe, in like Vietnam. or something like that. Yeah, it's a super famous like water park or something. Like there's a bunch of YouTube videos about how like people like visiting it or like I don't know, just like sending drones around. Yeah, because like that set piece is really cool. But I think as someone that loves like abandoned like stuff or just like all this like cool theme park stuff, it was just a cool detail for them to add. Also, again, I'm a really big fan of like, I don't know, like the vaporwave aesthetic or whatever. So there's like parts where it kind of reminds me of like Blade Runner with like all this like really bright neon lights. I think they definitely filmed in Hong Kong or like something at one point, because like there's like a bunch of neon signs, and there's that, it's like this, it's like a screen or whatever that's like all like neon or whatever. So I love that visual aspect of it. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Nate, like the choreography isn't too crazy necessarily, but they do a very good job of sort of matching the I wouldn't say necessarily intensity, just because it's a pretty chill song in comparison to like something like what Complete was, but it does match the mood of the song very well, and it, like, I'd say probably the best part is that, because if you listen to the instrumental, it's like of the chorus, it's like dun dun. There's like a lot of silence in between like the notes, or like a lot of like echo or whatever, and they do a good job of sort of matching the choreography to that. So basically, they'll do a movement slow, or they'll transit, like the way the transition between movements ties very well into that. So yeah, overall, I was. Again, I don't know if I necessarily had high expectations for this, just because I don't know. Just I'm not like
super
too
invested
biased
in them yet.
Yeah, I'm not too biased either way when it comes to ONF. But I mean, I've enjoyed everything that they've done so far, and this just continues that.
Yeah. So for me, I actually really enjoyed this song. I thought it was a good comeback. One thing I particularly enjoyed is just like in the verses how like open it feels, despite how much I guess populates the track as far as like instrumentation and stuff goes, or not instrumentation but like synths and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very busy, but
yeah, it's super busy, but like if I do my whole like synesthesia thing, like what I would like visualize is like that level in Ocarina of Time where you fight Shadow Link and it's like this infinite plane.
Oh, yeah, the water,
yeah, but like it's definitely limited. It's limited as well, because you can see the door right there, like kind of it's weird to explain, but
because they make a really good use of echo.
Infinite space.
They definitely add that echo effect on purpose, so to help sort of set the soundstage.
But yeah, like despite it being like like pretty chill, it built up pretty well to the chorus, and I think the chorus was nice and impactful. The beat, usually, like, again, I'm a little like I guess jaded on the whole like just EDM thing, I guess, at this point. But like I thought this like the beat in particular was really well produced and well done. Like it wasn't super typical, I guess, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I enjoyed the song a lot. That being said, I think this is actually the worst song in the album for me.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked a lot of the other songs. So
all the other songs are your favorite song?
No, I actually do have a favorite song.
Yeah,
okay.
I could see that. As for Cooper's thoughts, he wrote, quote, "This song is in the running for early song of the year for sure. It's my favorite title track by them for sure. Complete was a masterpiece in my opinion, but this song is so epic and powerful. The verses are so breezy with light guitar and synths. Then the percussion and claps come in to build this into the build-up of the epic pre-chorus. The vocal layering and editing here is fantastic and matches the futuristic tone of the MV, definitely. The chorus is kind of unexpected, but I love it with the chanting of "We must love," that part. The second verse comes back with more of the guitar and percussion. Then Wyatt, who I believe is a rapper. That's an awesome stage name, by the way, Wyatt. I don't know, it just reminds me
It
of...
just seems like a regular name to me.
No, there's a creepy wrestler dude named Bray Wyatt or whatever, so I just always think of Bray Wyatt whenever I hear the name. Then Wyatt comes in with a great rap verse, and it all speeds up with added electric guitar and the second pre-chorus. Easily my favorite part of the song. The bridge is well constructed, and the final chorus is satisfying. I would have liked a more extended outro, maybe with some more electronic guitar, but I can't dock points for it. The music video returns to their futuristic concept from their debut. I love the sets and what they tried to incorporate with the CG, even if it looks corny. The choreography is amazing and perfectly matches the mood. So yeah, Cooper's definitely in line with us.
Yeah.
his maybe spoilers or whatever. He was like, I kind of regret giving CLC a 10 because I would have given this a 10
Yeah.
instead.
He's still getting used to it. Must
he
be
said
the scoring and stuff.
He said that he felt like this album was better than CLC.
Yeah,
so
yeah, just in terms of like
CLC
sort
a
of
10.
comparative.
So that means
ranking.
you should completely disregard his CLC review because it was utter
his CLC,
garbage.
yeah, just
I think it's mostly because he doesn't have as much of a baseline as we do for like, I guess like, because we actually have to like rate all these albums.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I guess a normal listener, usually they just say like, yeah, I like that album. Yeah, I don't like that album. It's usually as simple as that, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, it
So-
takes a little bit to figure out what
Yeah, just,
baseline for a 10
you'll know.
Oh, sorry. Next we have Ice and Fire. I love how like chill how chill this song sounds.
Ice and Fire.
With like just
It
a
doesn't-
beat.
And it's chill.
It's literally a song of Ice and Fire.
Oh my god, yes.
They should have switched it around. It should have been it's Fire and
I hate
Ice.
you all. I hate you all.
Game
But
of
no,
Thrones,
yeah, I
please
just like
sponsor
how-
us.
That's never gonna happen in your wildest dreams. But yeah, it's just a beat, some really subtle laid back synths and a bass line at the beginning. But the main focus of the song is the vocals, and the falsetto specifically is just insane, and there's a lot of it. There's also a lot of really cool like different overlapping vocal parts. So yeah, and the chorus really stood out to me as well. Overall I love this song. I thought it was really cool, and really unique.
On my end, I don't know. I guess it's just I was used to them doing a bit of falsetto, so it just didn't necessarily blow me away in that aspect. And I'd say what blew me away about this song, or what really stood out to me the most, would be like the bass line that they incorporate towards the beginning of it, which I kind of wish that they'd sort of bring to the forefront a bit more, because otherwise it's just kind of your standard run-of-the-mill type of... It's definitely, I can definitely see the similarities, especially in terms of it being a mono tree song. Like it's like an instrumental you could hear on like Luna or something like that. So I don't know. That's why I guess it didn't stand out as much to me, just because it didn't really break the mold or go anywhere too out there, unlike We Must Love in that sort of way.
I'm surprised you say that, because I thought this was easily the most standout in the album for me. I really enjoyed this one. I don't know. I think maybe it just hit all the right chords for me, I guess. But I really liked just overall, like the production. I felt like it was very, very nice, and it's like sort of I find it difficult to like describe, I guess, like synths, because I'm not actually sure like which instrument they're trying to emulate, but like the beat that sort of like walks throughout the song, like it's super catchy. I really like the vocals. Like they did a lot of like falsetto and like stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. And I don't know, I guess this is a song I guess I know I really like it, but it's difficult to put my finger on it. Like even when I was writing my notes, I was having trouble like putting into words exactly like what I enjoyed about it, but this definitely was a standout for me.
Cooper wrote, quote, "The opening with the chimes is beautiful, and then the low bass comes in. Really love it. The pre-chorus is beautiful with Hyojin's falsetto," so like you mentioned, Nate. The way they overlap their
Bass line,
vocals
really good.
in the chorus is really cool. Enjoy the whole vibe of this song.
Next we have Yeah Yeah Yeah.
Cover the Stray Kids
Cover
song.
the
And
Stray
I
Kids
was
song.
gonna say that.
And the Tiara song. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea to open with a string solo. It's like a Latin style song, but the pre-chorus has like an EDM section. But that main string part is just like absolutely amazing in my opinion. I'm glad that they used it throughout the song and not just to open it. And also this seemed more of like the rap focused song. There were a lot of rap parts in this. And it seems like they were kind of using this song to show off their rap talent.
This probably, you can make an argument that I'd almost prefer. This could be a single. Honestly, that's how good I think this song is, and I'm glad that they used it as the second. They used it as like the song that they coupled their comeback stage of Ya 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 with, and perfect choice. It was easily the most captivating song for me, specifically with that. Again, that violin part is I could barely pay attention to the vocals just because I was paying attention to this incredible violin part, like the do 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 do, like that during the chorus was just incredible. Like, I'd love to see someone do a cover of that, basically. It's that good. Also, another really good part of this song was the bridge. There's this walking bass line that they incorporate. Also, in the pre-chorus, there's, like, this very subtle, like, synth arpeggio or like, chiptunes sort of thing, arpeggio that they use, like, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, like, which helps contrast against, like, the long notes or long chords that they're going with the keys. So, again, yeah, this probably is... Again, you can make an argument that this could have been a single, in all honesty, just because I could feel the quality that comes out of this song. And again, I'm really, it's why I'm happy that that Monotree just didn't do the single and that they did the rest of the songs as well. Just because I feel like in terms of like thematic or cohesiveness, in terms of genre or style, again, it fits very well alongside "We Must Love," and just again them being able to put their expertise into this song as well. Again, I basically, yeah, just with this entire with this and "We Must Love," pretty much Monotree's putting themselves into like producer of the year like level category again.
All right, so yeah, for me, I definitely really enjoyed this one as well. Like, again, I feel like all of them sort of like, I don't know, they just felt a lot better than "We Must Love" for me, even though I did really enjoy that song. I feel like the B-sides definitely stood out for me. And yeah, like what Andrew was saying about the strings is like, they definitely make the song, particularly like in the drop. I feel like it was definitely a good use of, using like the violin. Is it like violin or something like that? I guess.
It's a violin.
Sure.
It's a violin.
Yeah.
I can tell by specifically like the way they like do vibrato and stuff.
Yeah, that definitely stood out to me because like you don't really hear that as much, like using a like a string synth as the drop. Usually they use something like I don't know what instruments they're using.
It's 100% an actual like violin. Like you can't get that.
Oh, you
sound
don't think? Oh, it's not a synth.
It's not a synth. That's
No,
an
that
actual...
was definitely a real string instrument.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a real string instrument. Like like sample packs, you can't get the level of. You can get the dynamics. You can't get the level, or you can't program like the intensity and just like the amount of complexity that string part, that violin part had, just into some.
Well, they fooled me.
Wow, like I could tell I could tell easily that wasn't a real instrument. Like. I don't know.
Well, either way, like it's super interesting because, like, again, like they made it feel like an EDM song, even though they were using like, a real instrument for that drop.
Oh, you mean for the drop, not for like the solo?
Yeah, the.
That's
Okay.
all.
I don't know.
That's
I
all
have to
real violin.
re-listen to the song.
That is all real violin. I'm
Oh, okay.
100% sure.
I know, like the solo part definitely was.
But yeah, either way, yeah, I thought that was super standout for me, and yeah, everything just worked well, I guess.
Cooper's thoughts were, "This is the song, y'all. The violin opening only Monotree would do." Again, yeah, it's something that it screams Monotree. Rapping MK is a gift. They need to use this more with MK's higher tone and the lower baritone of Wyatt. This song has a slight Latin vibe to it, which I love. It's not overbearing or cheap imitation. They still maintain their own sound, which is a very important thing. Again, it's because Latin sort of sounds are definitely way overdone now, and it's the flavor of the month in K-pop. But they did a really good job of keeping it unique in that sort of way. he continues on with the pre-chorus just punches you with a loud synth, and the chorus just opens up with a guitar. The bridge with the bass and guitar is fantastic. So yeah, Cooper's just been on board with all these songs so far.
Yep. Next we have Happily Never After, which I thought was a great song name.
Yeah.
This
Good
is a
song.
more slower paced song. This reminded me more of like new SW stuff that they've been doing lately. I thought it really fit that style. The chorus synth stood out to me with like the Eastern Asian style like sound, and then the like the way I describe them is like underwater sounding synths, but that's because they sound like music from Mario 64 water levels. But that's exactly what they sound like, and I don't know how else to describe them, so I described them as such. But that definitely stood out to me, just the synths during the chorus.
It's almost like I might be crazy for even mentioning. It almost sounds like a Red Velvet track in a way, except it's done by a boy group. Just because it's definitely that 90s R&B flavor that Red Velvet definitely returns to all too often. But especially like the one thing that really like nails down that feel is just the way that they the vocalization and instrumental of like their parts during the verse where it's like the do 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 do. That was a really big thing back in the 90s. Just the way that they vocalized that was incredible. Yeah, and I think that's what saves it from being just your standard fair 90s R&B song. In fact, just I just love that detail about it. So yeah, it was another one of I consider a favorite.
One thing I thought was pretty nice was the use of like a synth almost as a like I guess beat measure, I guess, like the doot 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 doot, whereas the actual percussion, like the hi-hats, were kind of just I guess doing their hi-hat thing because it's like I guess little trap backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah, trap drums.
Yeah, I thought the vocals were pretty good, aside from this one weird section where the rapper like sounded like Lil Yachty, which I thought was weird. It was like around a minute. It goes with the
song. It's fine.
It's like, well, I didn't think it was bad. It was just I just thought it was weird. But yeah, overall I thought it ended up being a pretty good song. So
Cooper wrote, quote, "The smooth R&B jam that I wanted for this time of the year. JS got to show off his vocals more here, which I appreciate." So that's Cooper's thoughts.
Okay. And finally we have the song I Do. And this reminds me more of their older stuff. I did like the ballad, like more ballad style versus leading to the instrumental drop chorus. I thought that was a really good switch up. And I thought the I Do part leading into the drop was a really good touch. So yeah, overall I like this, and mostly I like their old stuff a lot, so it kind of bringing back that vibe stood out to me.
This is probably the only miss for me, just because the drop just feels so uninspired and generic as hell.
Yep.
Like I feel like I could write something like this on like Logic Pro or whatever if I just took like 5 minutes or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what kills the song for me. I just like again, maybe just because I'm like way over like it's a ballad track, but oh my god, we have this sick ass like Chainsmokers drop or whatever. But yeah, I felt like you could have done something a bit more interesting melodically in terms of that drop, and which is the focus of the songs, which again kind of brings it down in that sort of sense.
yeah, so for me, like, this would be one of the best songs in the album for me if it weren't for that drop. Like
Yes.
the vocals were incredible on this.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that. Like I think what they're going for here is more of a Ugo Shipchiana like 17 style song.
I think that's just in general for the whole album, in all honesty, because you kind of got that vibe going for We Must Love and with Yaya as well. So.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that what really gave it away here is the drop. Like you said, it's just so uninspired. I'm so over it. It's so 2016, you know. It's 2019. Let's not anymore, please. I'm so over it. But yeah, like, anyways, onto the actual positives of the song, because I don't think it truly kills it. Like the only, like, I don't hate those Chainsmoker drops. They just like, I'm just a little irritated by them because everyone and their mother seems to be doing them, you know?
Because there's only so many ways to do this type of drop that
yeah,
after a certain, there's nothing new about it at all. It's just like the same. It's just like you just start hearing the same song over and over after a certain point. And so like the impact, I'm sure again back in the day it was like, oh, this sounds really cool, but again like the impact is lost on us at this point.
Again, like 2016 it sounded cool,
like again,
but like
having heard it like hundreds of thousands of times at this point, like it just, there's no impact anymore.
Yeah. And one thing also that I thought was really cool was I think it was a part towards the end, like maybe in the bridge, where they did this like weird like digital sounding like layering on their voice to make it like almost like, I guess, like movie robot sounding, which I thought was kind of cool. So
they did a lot of
part that I liked.
Yeah, they did a lot of post processing with the vocals just in like on the entire album, which again I like them as a sort of unifying motif thing.
Yeah. I thought it was a cool stylistic choice overall. So
yeah.
Yep. Cooper's thoughts.
He said, "The perfect album closer. I think I can hear some of the We Must Love synths in the back here. ONF always does this kind of song perfectly. Wyatt's verse is fantastic and has a similar vocal effect added to We Must Love." So again, like he mentioned the same thing as you, Jacob. So, yep. Now on to ratings.
Okay. Yep, so let's do ratings. For me, I gave it a 6.5 for music. I thought everything was great. I still think I like Complete better as a title track, but I still love We Must Love and all the album tracks. But I only gave it a 2 for concept. I thought the music video was nothing special. The choreo was decent, but it wasn't insanely good either. I just thought the styling was good. So I gave him a 2. So I gave it an 8.5 total.
So again, I'm splitting my music score into single and album tracks. So for the single, I'd give it a full mark, 3.5 out of like 3.5 out of 3.5. This is, again, We Must Love is an excellent song. I'm probably going to be listening to it a lot over the year. Again, that's usually, like, I'm very hesitant to give something full marks unless I know for 100% sure that it deserves it. And this is a song that's definitely deserving of it. Because, again, it's just been stuck in my head for, like, all week in the lead up to this review. That being said, I'm only giving 2 out of 3.5 for the album tracks. For as much as I loved Yeah Yeah Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, again, I Do and Ice and Fire just didn't necessarily bring it. It didn't bring it over the hump for me in that sort of sense. And Nate, I'm with you on 2 out of 3 for the concept score. I wish they did. Probably one thing that would have made it a bit more cohesive in terms of the visual element or the music video is, I know they had a lot of like different sets like that. Oh, they had like the black background stage thing. They had like the set in Vietnam. They had the one in like the water park. They have the one in like, I don't know, just like some streets with like neon lights. They have the one where it's like somebody, like one of the members like on like with like some futuristic city background. I feel like they could have, if they were able to tie the elements more, maybe instead of just using these locations to just do like random, like them sitting on a bench shot or whatever like that, maybe incorporate choreography there. Like instead of it just, because the choreography was mainly isolated to that one like black background thing. And I understand for logistics, it makes sense just because they released a performance video of it. So it makes sense to do all the choreography just in one place. But I felt like it would have added a bit more cohesion or more, it'd probably be more understandable as a music video if they sort of incorporated, if they didn't, the elements just didn't feel so separated from one another. But that being said, I'm obviously a sucker for anything like futuristic and vaporwavy, so I'm still gonna appreciate that part of it. So adding all of that together, that's a 7.5, which again in my scale is pretty good. So
yeah, so for me, I gave it a 6 out of 7 for music. I really liked pretty much every song in the album. I thought everything stood well on its own. And honestly, I feel like anything could have been a decent title track, to be honest with you, and it would have done well. Like I think the only thing I'm really taking off points for is the fact that I felt like they didn't really make the right choice for a title track, just in my personal taste. And then I Do was the only song I really had a problem with, but it was small enough that like I feel like the vocals definitely carry that song to be still like successful in my mind. So yeah, I went with 6 out of 7 overall. And then for a concept, I did the same as Nate. I said 2 out of 3, just because I felt like the music video, it was definitely solid. Like, it looked like they definitely put some money into it, and it had the production value and nice visuals and stuff like that. But there was nothing that was like mind blowing. So yeah, I gave that a 2 out of 3. The choreo was kind of cool as well, but again, nothing like earth shattering or, so yeah, I gave it 2 out of 3 for concept and 8 out of 10 overall.
Cooper's thoughts are, like, his summary would be, ONF at this point are probably in my top 10 boy groups. They have 3 fantastic albums under their belt. I hope more people notice them eventually because there's so much talent here. Monotree did some of their best work here in my eyes, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think they did great.
Especially with them getting more exposure, because I don't know, like, they, between the 2 channels that they posted us up on, it's like less than 300,000 views right now, which is a travesty because this song is just, it deserves way more than that. But again, I don't know, it's just, there's a huge logjam when it comes to boy groups, I guess. So Cooper gave perfect marks for music, so that's a 7 out of 7, and he gave 2.5 out of 3 for concept, totaling up to a 9.5 out of 10. So Nate, you can do the math. You're the smart person. So
it's 8 point. So it'd be an 8.5.
Oh, just straight 8.5.
Rounded up. Well, no, it's 8.35 or
Okay.
8.375.
Okay, so I'd say that's a pretty good place to put it, in all honesty. I mean, it's definitely
deserves it. I'd
definitely deserving of it. And ONF is a group that I want to see live, just because, again, like, they usually have good choreography. The drops are mostly something that works in a live environment.
Have they been around for a year yet?
They've been around since 2017, so I'm
yeah,
surprised they haven't jumped.
I was about to say that they're really strong rookies, but I guess they're not rookies anymore.
I'm surprised they haven't jumped on the KCON train yet. So I mean, I don't know, just somebody, if you're listening to this, go tweet at KCON USA or whatever. Tell them bring ONF here, because I would definitely, I'd love to go see ONF. So
how are their views on YouTube? They usually get over 1 million at least.
No, I don't know. This one will maybe get there in a while, but yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm glad we're doing this review. Hopefully, if you are a regular listener and haven't either heard of ONF or aren't a regular listener of ONF, please go check them out. Definitely, they have a really good catalog so far. So they are available.
That sucks. I looked up ONF on YouTube, and One Us and ATs show up in the search result.
Oh, that's probably why. I guess it's just
well, not at the top, but like
there's
you
competition.
can see it if you scroll down only a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of competition in this sort of field, but I mean, I'd say that
it has 1.7 million, so they're not doing bad.
Yeah, that's all right, but hopefully this will do better. So you can check them out on Spotify, Apple Music. You could just listen on YouTube, I guess. So yeah,
Been
please.
5 days and it's 200,000. So
yeah, please everyone go check them
not
out. They're a really good group.
Yeah, definitely deserves way more recognition. Topic 4, which is Loco's new mini album Hello
for the PSP.
Loco.
And Jacob is running this one.
Yes. Okay. All right. So first we have Nothing, which on first listen, when I listened to it, I wasn't sure what I felt about it, but I'd say later on it grew on me. Just because I'm usually not so high on the auto-tuned like rap singing with like trap instrumentals and stuff, but I think overall it somehow works. It just clicked a little for me. Like if I did it on Andrew's scale, I'd probably give it a 0.75 out of 1. But yeah, like overall I think it works well because it sets a good tone as far as like how the album is going to be and like what kind of artist he is. Like you could listen to this album and get in sort of a feel for what kind of artist Loco is. Yeah, I liked like the mix of like guitars and trap and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, overall I thought it was a pretty cool song.
Yeah, for me, Or do you want to do Cooper's before?
No,
me?
you can go. I'll read Cooper's after
Okay.
mine. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, for me, same. I really like the guitar focused instrumentals, especially how they mute it occasionally.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the vocal melodies and the flow, but it's just like the autotune's still just not something I'm a huge fan of.
Again, like on
that-
first, I was about to agree with you. I was like, again, like when I first listened to it, I was like, but
Yeah.
it kind of grew on me a little bit as time went on. So definitely doesn't kill the song for me at all.
Yeah, I don't think the song's bad, but I just think it would have been better without it.
Yeah.
It's just that style of autotune I don't like, but
Definitely.
like I said, the actual melodies and the flow itself, like, I thought was good.
I don't know. I feel like the autotune kind of makes the song. I feel like it would have been way more boring if you didn't just process
That's
the
because
vocals.
you like that type of autotune.
Specifically with this song in particular, it reminds me a lot of, because there's been basically like the new generation of like, I don't know, like SoundCloud rappers or whatever. Like a lot of the music that they came up listening to, like it's just from two polar opposite ends. It's like they listen to a lot of like emo music and they listen to a lot of trap music. So the sort of new wave of like trap artists or new emo artists incorporate both of these elements that are, again, you don't think would work well, but in this sort of way, but they work very well, if anything, because I mean you have just this type of like emo, like hip hop or whatever is what I guess you can call it or whatever, has been, or like emo, like, or like, yeah, basically just emo rock and hip hop. Like this fusion has been sort of in vogue lately, specifically.
Epic high. No, I'm
no,
kidding.
specifically with artists
Completely
like
different, but
XXXTentacion and Lil Peep, both are posthumous, rest in peace. But yeah, they were really big on this sort of like emo rap sort of thing. I don't believe neither did specific like actual like auto tuning to it, so that's a unique element that Loco is bringing to this song. But again, that sort of like feel like they'll have use of sort of like almost like this like alt guitar, emo guitar type thing mixed in with these vocals is such a unique mix. So I really did like this song. In fact, yeah, again, I think Loco pulls it off well in that going back and forth between, like, I guess there's the subtlety between him actually singing and him actually like rap singing, that sort of thing. That's something that's kind of a hard transition for a lot of people who are primarily rappers. It's hard for them to transition away from that sort of delivery method, but I think Loco pulls it off just perfectly here. So Cooper's thoughts were, in regards to Nothing, he said, quote, "This is the first Loco song I ever heard, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I love the guitar throughout, and his slurred vocals with the auto-tune are a nice contrast with the instrumental." So yeah, I'd say that's probably why I like it too, just because again, it's sort of it's an unconventional approach to doing trap music or emo music or whatever, because when you think these are like, they're very two set in stone kind of mentalities in this sort of way, which is why again I love the fact that they're being brought together, because I guess it's just two guilty pleasures of mine, just really emo music and just like ratchet ass trap music in this sort of way. So it's just trap music that you can listen to when you're fucked up at like 3 a.m. in the morning and thinking about life and shit.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason it doesn't really click with me as much is because, like, I think it's because, like, as far as hip-hop goes, I don't think I ever really transitioned beyond, like, a lot of stuff before, like, 2010, maybe. So I'm used to more, like, I guess, like, straight-up, like, rap and stuff like that. And as far as, like, emo goes, I guess, I wouldn't really consider them emo bands specifically, but, like, I really only listen to like My Chemical Romance or Fall Out Boy or stuff like that. But
That's emo. That's emo, definitely. But I mean, it's a different level of emo where this is more like brand new level emo than like that pop emo type of stuff.
Yeah. I guess I guess when I hear emo, I think more like pop punk or punk rock and stuff like that.
See, yeah, that emo was way like before your time, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, moving on, finally, we have, this is the title track, if I'm not mistaken. It's the one I watched the music video for, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Been a While, featuring Zion T, and I thought this was actually a really good, like, collaboration and blend. Like, I think it seems like a natural, like like I guess what I'd expect to hear from like a collaboration between these two. Like I think it feels right at home on Loco's album, and it also would if it were on Zion T's album.
Yeah.
One part that I thought was kind of cool was like these noises it was using, like that. Yeah. I'm assuming it's like something being played in reverse.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. They used that on a Red Velvet song, but I don't remember what it was. That's all I can like. That's but like
that's a popular
comparison I draw to. But
it's a popular sort of thing in hip hop where you just like reverse vocals and then you just sort of like make it like sound really weird sounding, just so it grabs your attention that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. And like the type of like R&B like synths and beats and stuff is something that's definitely within like Zion T's repertoire as far as like what he'd use on his album. And then on to actually like Loco, his rapping, like I liked it. It was almost like it's still definitely rapping, but it almost goes into like the sing rap like sort of territory. And I think it definitely treads that line really well. And I thought it was really interesting. So yeah, I really liked his delivery. And then as always, Zion T always has beautiful vocals. He has amazing voice, and it's instantly recognizable. So I really enjoyed this song.
Yeah, same. I thought their voices went really well together. And I like that, like you said, that Loco is almost singing in this song more than rapping. I thought it was just a really good R&B song. I love the trumpet part during the second verse, and the like doorbell sounding part that they use. Those two things definitely stood out to me. And I thought the music video was great. I really liked how minimalist it was. It fit the style of song really well.
This was produced by Gray, and I'd say he has to get a lot of the props for the production. Again, like you mentioned, Jacob, basically it's a song that works well for both artists. And I think it just works. It speaks to Loco's versatility in that he can do like more traditional like trap hip hop songs or like regular hip hop songs and still sort of venture off into this R&B jazzy hip hop style. And he's got the skill set for it, again, with that sing rapping sort of thing where his vocals can definitely carry it still, despite being a rapper properly. I just think their voices are, the chemistry in their voices are so well together. They're paired well together, and it's almost like a companion. It feels like a companion almost to Hell Tutorial. Just it's got a similar vibe to it. Again, Hell Tutorial being the song, the title track off of Zion T's most recent album, the one with Solgi. So again, the way they pair together is a really interesting sort of thing. And yeah, it's definitely an early contender for like best feature and collab, because pretty much anything Zion T just touches just turns to gold basically at this point. So it was awesome for them to see them work together. In regards to the video or visual elements of this, there's actually parts where Zion T's cutting Loco's hair because he's enlisting in the military. So this is I'm pretty sure this is his last release before he has to enlist. So yep, definitely went out with a bang in this case. Also, just another sort of thing. I mentioned it in the Zion T review as well, but he's actually starting to wear like regular glasses a lot more, as opposed to just sunglasses where you literally just
can't.
I'm just like, whoa! Yeah. I can see Zion T's pupils. This is weird.
That is a little weird.
I noticed that too.
The sunglasses were like his trademark. Like as long as I've known him, like. I think the first Zion T thing I listened to was his Red Light album, and like literally the album cover is like a drawing of him with these giant like glasses and the red hat, and yeah, and it's
even in
KCON,
it's like a dark ass arena and he's wearing sunglasses. So I don't know what the change has been made. Maybe he's just afraid. Maybe he had to like get eyeball surgery.
Change his image a little bit.
Maybe he never had eyeballs until now.
Oh yeah,
he was just hiding it the whole time. But another thing, I just, as a big fan of Zion T and as a recently like starting to become a big fan of Loco again, I just love that visual element of it where it's got that absurdity or just like that randomness that Zion T music videos have. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but I mean, if you understand like with like his early, like his song, like Hell Tutorial has a weird ass music video. This is like a weird ass music video to some degree or whatever. It's just like literally them trying to cut his hair, and like they have like these like stabilized cameras, but like the reference monitor is like some old CRT tube TV or whatever. It's just like it oozes like style, and I understand it immediately just between both Zion T and Loco in that case. So I really appreciate that aspect of it. Cooper said, the best word I can use to describe this song is, quote, beautiful in its lyrics. Vocals from Zion T and soft instrumental. It's a really chill song I'll have on repeat for sure. The MV has some really cool sets and uses of props. It's kind of a standard K indie MV though, so nothing really wowed me.
All right.
Yeah, that's the thing with these sort of ones. No choreography, they kind of just at a disadvantage because they have to think of other things to make the video interesting. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Up next, we have "Tangled Up," which is featuring PH1 on vocals. So when I first heard like the beginning of the song, I was like not into it. I didn't really like how Loco's delivery was at in like the first like 30 seconds, but like right around like second 30 when he starts like going into his actual rap, I was like, bam, this is all right, this is what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And yeah, that's when the song definitely picked up for me. Like it started out generic, but then like when he actually like, you know, got in his pace and started rapping, it's like, all right, this is dope. I thought the beat actually works really well in this. Like that's one criticism I have of I guess hip hop is that like rely a little too much on percussion, but I thought the beats along with the like the actual like instrumental, like I think they worked really well together, and like definitely helped to set the vibe. PH1's vocals I thought were really good. Although like again, every song I've heard him in he's always had a really good voice.
He's good. So
he's definitely a good R&B singer. But yeah, this song actually stood out to me a lot. Besides like that begin like, which is funny because again at the beginning I thought I wouldn't like it, but you know, once I got into this song, it definitely picked up for me.
Yeah, I love the beginning, like instrumentals with like the baby synth, the East Asian like style instrumentals, and like the underwater feeling. I thought it was really good. But I had like the exact same notes as Jacob. I said like the flow for the rapping is fantastic, but I don't like that droning style of delivery he uses. But then once he picks up the flow, it gets better, and it's less distracting. Overall, I think even with the beginning part that I didn't like as same as Jacob, I think it's better than the auto-tune by a lot, and just the type of style I like. And I really like the echo during the chorus. It really helps with that underwater feeling.
Yeah.
And then I agree. PH1's vocals are really good. I think they add a lot to the song. This was probably one of my favorites.
PH1 stole the song for me, in all honesty. His verse, the second verse is like, like his flow is insane. So just, the way he was able to transition seamlessly from singing the hook into that second verse was incredible. Again, I'm more of a trap hip hop fan, so it's the way, like the sort of lazily sort of droning vocal isn't as off-putting to me in that sort of way, but it definitely stands out in comparison to just how good PH1 was in terms of his deliveries. So, but I mean, that's praising PH1, not necessarily a knock against Loco. I just love the fun sort of like laid back vibe that the song has, which makes the sort of lazy delivery or chill delivery of the rapping, it definitely fits thematically in that sort of way. But yeah, I love everything about this song, just like all the English lyrics, like "Don't you know I'm loco?" It's like I'm like Z, like sleep and snore. I'm like ZZ. I'm a sucker for all of those like English like puns or whatever, and stuff like that would make it. Like I could see somebody making like a really awesome choreo to this. In all honesty, like if one day maybe if I'm ever really good at dancing, I could do something like a choreo to this. But yeah, there's a lot of creativity and there's a lot of like visual elements I feel to this, so I did enjoy it a lot. Cooper, on the other hand, says, this song didn't really stand out to me. I kind of just listened to it and forgot the song ended. The baby synth is no good, though. I think it's the lack of change at all in tempo that kind of bored me out. So, Cooper's not a fan. Oh, well. Who cares what Cooper thinks anyway?
Cooper's not into this type of music.
Yeah, he's not into this type of, like, hip-hop, so...
All right, next we have Some Beatmaker featuring Esong and Wu, or Yesong and Wu, however you pronounce it.
Depending on if they want the English or...
That's I don't know why it just says Wu, but that's supposed to be Wu Onjae, he got popular back in 2017.
That's what it said on iTunes and Spotify.
Yeah,
I
iTunes
don't know
just
why.
says Wu.
Yeah, I don't know why they shortened it to Wu, but that's 100% sure that's Wu Onjae.
Yeah, so for this song I wasn't super high on, and I think it's mostly because, like, the beat they use, it's just constant throughout the whole song, and I think it feels a little disjointed from the rap and the vocals. Like, I feel like I could literally just strip it back and put a different beat in there, and it wouldn't make as much of a difference. Like there was nothing wrong with Loco's rap. I thought he was fine. I think he had good delivery. Although, like, the people who did the vocals for, like, the chorus and stuff like that, I didn't really like their singing style. It was not my thing at all. But yeah, like Loco's rapping was good, but, like, again, I feel like it's disjointed from the beat. I don't know. I just didn't click with me, I guess. It doesn't meld well, in my opinion. So I think the biggest problem with this for me is it's just not super cohesive for me, I guess. So
yeah, for me, it's funny because I really like the focus on just, like, the simple bell part for the instrumentals, and I thought it was pretty, like, I was so focused on it that, like, I basically didn't pay attention to any of the rap at all. I was just like, this is really, like, simple but really catchy, and, like,
it definitely is catchy.
So, like, yeah, I just, like, all my focus was on it for some reason, and that's literally all I have to say, other than I agree with you with the chorus. The chorus almost has, like, a reggae style to it, and it wasn't very good in my opinion.
I love the instrumentals. I'm a sucker for, like, steel drum or, like, xylophone in
Like
freaking,
a marimba
like,
or something.
Yeah, I just love, like, I don't know. It's always such a funny sound to hear in hip hop music, but it's definitely something that you hear a lot of. But I always enjoy it. But yeah, I'm definitely in unison with you guys, where the chorus or the hook is definitely what kills it. Mostly just because of the delivery of it. It's just like the chorus is like, some beat maker. Like, I know they're trying to, like, sort of, like, do, like, an echoey effect to it, but the way that I don't know, maybe it's a pronunciation sort of thing with Koreans or whatever, but the way that they are enunciating the words it's too try hard, and it just sounds like you're slurring instead of just, like, trying to pronounce the words. And again, if you want that echoey effect, there's other ways to achieve it as opposed to just like it's that droning that sort of kind of kills the song or kills the hook for me. I think it would have been fine if they changed up the delivery on that front. Cooper. The funny thing is, though, Cooper really loved this song. Apparently, he's like, this is
so
better
unpredictable.
He's like, this is better than Tangled Up. I dig the piano, but there's more baby synth. Why? Why does he keep complaining about baby synth? What's wrong?
Some people really hate it.
I mean, again, I'm usually the one that complains about overused elements, but I'm not.
All right, wait. So, what is baby synth? Is that like kids' toy?
That's
synth?
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
I don't know what that is.
Huh? Like a kid's like synth piano or something like that.
No. It's like the synth where it sounds like a baby talking, but it's a synth instrument. You hear it all the time.
Okay.
It's in the, like, if you listen to the song, you'll hear it.
You've never messed around with, like, the settings on, like, a keyboard?
Well, no, I have. I didn't know what you meant by baby synth.
Yeah.
No, it's where it sounds like a baby talking as a synth instrument.
Okay.
They use it a lot in, like...
Who's the one that does it? Doesn't Groovy Room use something like that in their intros?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it.
I don't hate it either.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Oh yeah, it's Cooper just went. Yeah, okay. Up next we have Too Fast, which features Palo Alto, and I think this one might be my favorite on the album, just because I think it's more like, I guess what I like in hip hop. It's just like back to the basics, like rap with a nice beat, and yeah, like definitely lives up to the name. Like Loco, like again, he does do that sort of like sing rapping style that he does, but in this, like he takes it to another level. He's like really nice fast flow.
Yep.
And I thought was super nice in this, like his pronunciation, and like he wasn't too slurry, but again, like it's like it's weird for me to describe, I guess, again, but it's like, again, like he's not super slurry, and he's still doing like the sting rap style, but at a faster pace, and I think it really works well in this song. And Palo Alto, he's a rapper I definitely like on his features and stuff. I don't think I listen much to his solo music, but his features always turn out well. So yeah, I thought this was awesome.
I basically know him from the Wonder Girls feature
he did,
on
Candle or whatever.
Candle, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that song.
Light a candle. Oh god, that's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
But for me, yeah, I'm like pretty much exactly aligned with Jacob in terms of like the style of hip hop and stuff I like. So yeah, this is also my favorite song on the album. I like the more just basic older school style hip hop.
Yeah.
Just like you said, a nice beat and just straight rapping. No like weird styles. And yeah, so I loved it. I really like the upbeat piano line to start
definitely.
the song off. That's just the exact style of hip hop I like to listen to. It's weird though. I find it funny though because it seems like Loco has a different style in every single song on this album.
Which is good.
He's versatile. I like to see that.
Yeah, that is good, but I just most of the styles I don't actually like. So, but yeah, this one definitely is my favorite.
Like immediately, like I didn't even have to check the like the production notes. I could tell, Woogie produced this song just because he loves Woogie. Definitely loves their like the specific use of like not organ, but like the style of synth electric keys that he uses. It's almost signature at this point. So I do enjoy Loco's parts in this album, but I feel like I don't know, I just got nothing out of Palo Alto's feature. It's just super boring to me. And yeah, I guess the song itself definitely feels a lot more safe in comparison to just the rest of the album. So this is probably the only major miss for me on this album, but I mean, it's still, again, I enjoy Local's rapping, so that's probably the only redeeming part of this song. Cooper says, I love the vibe of this song way more upbeat, but still chill. The rap verse is really good, and the guitar in the back is a nice touch. So, yeah, you guys are definitely a lot more in agreement than I am, so.
All right, next song we have How, and I actually really like this song. I thought this turned out really well, especially the instrumental with Loco singing. I think works really well. Like when it first started, I thought like it almost sounded like it would turn into like a soft rock song or something like that, which I thought was really interesting, especially showing up on like a hip hop album. I definitely, one thing I love to see in hip hop is the use of guitar, because I feel like it's so underutilized. Like I feel like that's one thing that I like that Epic High like pulls out every once in a while is, again, like use of guitar like in their beats and instrumentals and stuff like that. Same with like piano and whatnot. I feel like just taking it back to like I guess real instruments and like having an instrument I almost said instrumentist, musician, like come in and help with that kind of stuff. I think it gives it a more like raw I guess feeling to it, like if in a song like this where you're trying to like convey like certain amount of emotion, I guess. And with Loco, I keep calling him a local for some reason.
Local.
Yeah. Loco's his actual like vocal delivery I think worked out really well as well. So yeah, I thought this was a really nice song.
So yeah, for me, I liked how the super chill guitar line, like you said, it gives me like stoner rock vibes almost.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like. I'm not a fan of the nasally like rap style he uses here. Like I said, literally every single song is a different style. And for me, it's just a crapshoot of what I like and what I don't like. But when he's actually doing the singing, I think it's a lot better. And the one thing that stood out, I like the humming in the chorus a lot. That part stood out to me.
Oh yeah.
This is another song that's produced by Woogie, and I think this is the better of the two songs in comparison to Too Fast or Goodbye or whatever it's called. Again, like you were mentioning the guitar part, it's something that Woogie's incorporating again from Loco and Huas's song Don't. It's got that same sort of bluesy vibe. There's the effects pedals and like the sort of the way that they're playing the guitar. It's got that twangy blues feel to it, which fits perfectly for this. Again, Loco, his vocal performance obviously isn't the best when compared to like actual vocalists, but I mean, I always give a bit of leeway when it comes to like rappers doing vocals like this. Yeah, so it's fine. It works perfectly for this song, in all honesty, and I think it's an awesome way to end the track. It kind of goes full circle with the utilization of guitar that they used on Nothing, which was the opening track. So it's kind of I'd play it on repeat, and they'd flow very well into each other. But again, I just really love him just not being afraid to just do an almost exclusively vocal track. Again, obviously he doesn't have the highest of vocal ranges necessarily, but what he did cover in his vocal range was excellent. Again, just everything about this is why Woogie's a really good producer. Just the way he can create mood with the guitar, the muted nature of the drums, and the way that Loco's able to complement that instrumental perfectly with the way he's singing or the way he's delivering his lines and his vocals. It just made it super memorable. It's something I'm gonna listen to a lot in like my smooth as fuck like nighttime playlist or whatever. It's just a perfect song for that type of mood. Cooper said the perfect no, that's for another group. I was like, wait a second, why does it look familiar? Okay, he says, at this point, every song kind of sounds the same, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but the whole album kind of blends together in a monotonous sort of way. It's a nice ending track. The vocals are emotional and nostalgic sounding, but I mean, for me, I'd say the only sort of connecting point with the songs is probably just Loco's vocal delivery, but I still feel like again, we got a good variety of just different genres and instrumentals and styles of music that I don't feel it ever got repetitive for me. If anything, I loved his use of, or it's maybe it's a hip hop thing where you're just not afraid, or you always just want to go into different styles or different directions on an album, that sort of way. But again, I love that approach to album making, or just sort of how you present an album, or just how you showcase your versatility in that sort of way. And I feel like he's more than proven his versatility with the different genres he's tackled on this album. So we can get to ratings now. So what do you got, Jacob?
All right, yeah, I'll go first. So for music, I gave it a 5.5 out of 7. I thought everything was like I at least enjoyed every song, but like a few of them I had a few things that I didn't like on some Beatmaker. Like I think that's definitely the weakest track on the album for me. I think the chorus really kills it, and again, like I just felt like there was like a disjoint between the beat and Loco's rapping throughout the verses. So I wasn't too high on that. And then in like Nothing, for example, I wasn't super into the auto-tuned voice, like singing, I guess. But like again, it's grown on me on other listens. So I guess that score could go up later on. But like at this point, I'm still not totally sold on it, but I'm okay with it. Like it doesn't ruin the song for me. So I only deducted like 1.5 points, because I felt like every other song was like at least really like well done. And for concept, I gave it a 1.5 out of 3, just because I felt like there was nothing that really like the MV was like the most standard thing I've ever seen, to be honest. Like like yeah, they had the motif of like I guess like shaving his hair because he's going into the military and stuff like that, but nothing really stood out to me like in particular. Like yeah, because like with someone who doesn't have like choreography or anything like that, like it's hard to, I guess, judge the concept, especially if it's not like a concept album or anything like that. So yeah, I gave it a 1.5 out of 3 for concepts. Overall, I think it's a strong 7 out of 10.
Yep. For me, I gave it a 5 for music. There was a lot of stuff I liked, but there's definitely things on this album that are just not the type of music I really enjoy. So I knocked it a couple points, but overall I think I do like this album. But yeah, there's just some things I couldn't deal with. As for concept, I think I was a little gave this a little leeway since there isn't like choreography or really like even styling or anything to count. So I gave it a 2 out of 3 for the music video. I liked the minimalistic like artistic style of it. And so I mean that's really all we have to grade on. Also the cover art, which I thought was good. I think it'll fit the MV.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I give it a 7 overall.
Yeah, same score actually. Most of the weight went into the single just because I love It's Been a While. Just again, a perfect collaboration, something that I'll go back to constantly. I did enjoy the album tracks for the most part, but there were some hiccups in some songs, but something like Nothing or How are just songs that I will definitely return to a lot. And I know Loco's usually not like our typical beat, so to speak, or something we normally cover, but I did want to cover him, or I went out of my way to sort of put this aside in the schedule, just because one, he did amazing last year with the song he did with Wasa, Don't, was just like it was on the charts for like months on end, like it just kept all killing basically. So I definitely, over the past year, I've definitely grown to respect him a lot more as a rapper. Again, that versatility that he showcases in this album musically is just awesome. Again, just the way he's able to go from like certain like hip hop sounds and just move into R&B or just like chill jazz music. Again, just showcases his talent as an artist, and I wish him all the best whenever he ends up joining the military. And that kind of sucks because I feel like he just had like a super breakout song with Wasa or whatever, and now he just has to go to the military. And so yeah, it sucks. I mean, yeah, it's something.
AOMG?
Yeah, AOMG's gonna like Jay Park's gonna have a really tough time replacing him. In all honesty, he's got to find someone really good to just sort of fill the void that Loco is gonna leave behind. Because I feel like he's definitely some of the best talent that they have out of AOMG in terms of rappers, alongside people like Simon D or whatever. In terms of concept, I gave it 1.5 out of 3. Again, it's nothing necessarily blew me away. I do love the sort of fantastical element or just weirdness that a lot of just Zion T involved music videos have. But again, it's nothing that necessarily just blows me away visually or just conceptually. So 7 out of 10 was, I think, a really solid score, and it's exactly what I thought of this album. And again, on my scale, that's a really good thing. So Cooper gave his overall thoughts were, this is the first time I've listened to Loco. It's a solid first impression, but I'm not sure how much he stands out to the other K-indie stuff I've heard. There's some standout tracks here. It's Been a While and Too Fast are my favorite. The MV is good, but it's also pretty standard. Overall, I'm interested enough to see what else he puts out when he returns from the military. And he gave a 4.5 out of 7 for the music, a 2 out of 3 for concept. So he's at a 6.5. So
Jacob, you is 7.5, right?
I is 7.
Yeah, so it's 6.5. Okay. So that'll just
be
round
7.
It'll just round to 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good spot for where I want to put it.
Yeah.
Again, check out Loco's music if you haven't already. It's definitely, I know a lot of people are sort of hesitant to lean into the hip-hop side of Korean music, but I feel like this is a good sort of balance between it. One, because the title track is with Zion T, and so you can sort of garner R&B pop elements from it. It's not just pure hip hop. So I think it's definitely, if you haven't listened to Loco before or just not as familiar with him, this is definitely probably the most accessible of his albums that I've listened to, or just the most accessible of his music that I've listened to, and just the producers that he's cooperated with or just involved in this project definitely sort of lean to that more accessible type of sound thing, involving a lot more singing. So yeah, I really did enjoy this, and I hope that sort of like us sort of venturing out into this category could lead us to maybe finding new people. If there are other artists or other hip hop artists you'd like for us to cover, definitely let us know, because I don't want to neglect that side of Korean music. Definitely, I know we mostly focus on just straight up K-pop stuff here, but I do want to cover that, or I do want to give that some love, because that's obviously a really big part of the Korean music industry. So.
Yeah,
we'll be reviewing an Epic High album later on this year.
Oh my God, I'm so
Epic
happy.
High. I mean,
I'm so excited to give it a 10. I really hope it's a 10.
Don't skew the results already, but that'll do it, right? That's the last review for the week.
For episode 108.
Yep. All right.
Like usual, join Discord. It's mucho lit.
Mucho lit.
The future stuff, we're going to see Red Velvet.
We're gonna see Red Velvet like
this weekend.
For like a couple days after this part goes up. So, if you're in the New York, New Jersey area and are going to see Red Velvet at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark, we will be there. Say hi, or don't say hi, or I don't know. The only people we know are going are like people in Discord. So, we're gonna go check that out.
If you want to get to know us, like. Just get on Discord. Like,
that's the easiest way to contact us.
We all pretty much get to know each other, so yeah.
Also, we are just, again, it's not necessarily K-pop related, but we were just like, okay, you got Jacob and Nate are going to be in town, so we're like, okay, screw it. We'll just have like a community game night sort of thing. We're going to stream a bit of Apex Legends, like I mentioned in the beginning of this show. We're going to hopefully get a win. Hopefully, just if we can get a win on stream, that'd be awesome.
Chicken dinner.
No, they don't say. They don't say. They just said you're the champion.
You won.
You're the Apex champion. You're the Apex champion.
Championship.
Yeah. So, if you're interested in that, again, just check out our Twitter or join our Discord for details. That's another thing that I do want to incorporate more, just more community or just like get together sort of things with the Truly Daebak community. Just screw around with you guys, have fun or whatever. So please look forward to that. It's definitely something we'll plan to do on a regular basis, hopefully. So that's all I got for upcoming events.
All right. So with that, thanks for listening. Tune in next week. Subscribe. Most important thing I'd say is join Discord, just because
join Discord.
Add to our growing community.
Well, yeah.
Comment. So. Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thank you. And good night.
Stay loco.
Stay throbbingly
loco.
Which is funny because that's also a Spanish word.
Stay crazy.
Stay throbbingly crazy.
It works. It's not necessarily them saying no 100 times. It's the way they say no 100 times.
It's the type of voice they use, really. So yeah. Overall, I really like the song. It's just like that main part that kills it a little. So
Nate.
So for me, I'm with Andrew.